What's up, guys? Matt here, coming at you with another quick run video. This one just out having some fun crawling. This is my G-Shot getting ready to go over this rock. This is at Nolin Dam in Kentucky, so if anybody's near that area, this is a killer place to crawl. That truck right there is my buddy Dakota's latest build. He's got the new KLR tires on there as well, and it was pretty cool to see that truck out. He's been working on it for a little bit. Maybe we'll do a deep dive into it at some point with him, but look at that thing. It looks killer, and I was very surprised with how well it ran, you know, first run out. A lot of times you got to work out some kinks. He had brand new tires. A lot of times those need to be broke in. Those KLRs seem to do very good being new. So overall, we just had a fun day out and pulled a few lines that we kind of do every time we go here, but a couple we tried, a few different like cross lines, and actually found some new cool spots. And you can see this line here. I'm just playing around. This is one thing I love about the G-Shot. You've got that crazy amount of clearance. You can just walk up on stuff like that. And then I do have the dig for the rear, so I can lock it and kind of do some hanging lines like this. I didn't actually get this one, but all it would have took was just the lucky bounce, basically, and I could have got that. But this truck is a mix-up. It is Capra axles, so I've got the portals, and then it is a 10-2 transmission. It's the Amazon knockoff version of the Vanquish. I wouldn't recommend that transmission. I watched a couple videos, one in particular on that transmission, and I don't know. Supposedly, like, it was really good, and it was, just like the Vanquish, basically, and the thing's terrible. Like, it has so much wobble in it. The shaft where the spur gear went had so much wobble in it that I actually put belt drive on this truck. So I'm running belt drive on this thing because really the transmission was so bad. And I mean, it's kind of what you get buying knockoff stuff for 10th scale. Like, we get a lot of cheaper stuff for the 24s. You can take a chance and get some of the stuff from here, there, or wherever that is dirt cheap and it works for the 24s. That's usually not the case for the 10th scale. Like, if it's not a highly known brand or company, or just some, and I'm not trying to say like some of the new companies that start up of people that really crawl a lot, the people that are really into the hobby, obviously are good as well. I'm not saying you have to just buy like Axial or this or that or whatever, but if I don't know, like some of the China-based stuff, if you just go grab something off of AliExpress or whatever, it's probably going to be junk. And that's just the way it goes for 10th scale. It's crazy how it's so different from the 24s. Like, there's things that I run on the 24s that I wouldn't touch for 10th scale. So that transmission is not good. I'm still running it just because I made it work. I already had it installed, everything. I made my own kind of like dig servo mount for it, because the one that comes on it and the Vanquish puts the servo for the dig sticking like way out to the back, so it would have been sticking out of my body, and I didn't like it, so I kind of made my own mount and stuff. So I've got this thing like really kind of how I wanted it, besides it just being sloppy, but it's working, so I'm going to leave it alone. I went back to the Copperhead ESC in this truck, actually, and I did that because I was having issues with the transmission, getting like some slipping and stuff. I've kind of figured that out now, so I'm probably going to go back to my FuryTech ESC because I did kind of prefer it, and it silenced this motor. So the truck was silent with the FuryTech ESC. I thought it had something to do. I just wasn't getting full punch. I was getting a little bit of slipping, and so now that I've figured that out, I'm going to go back to the FuryTech ESC more than likely. But the Copperhead crawls really good. Like, I've really liked that ESC. I just wish it would silence the motor the way the FuryTech does. You can see Dakota always builds a really good truck. And, I mean, this is his first time out with it, really. And he did basically everything that I did. And that's pretty impressive, you know, to build a truck and take it out first run and be able to knock most everything out that we normally do on our trucks that we've took out here several times and kind of tuned. And this is a spot that, you know, I really like crawling the creeks and doing hill climbs and that sort of thing. And this is more of a like technical spot. So if you want to test something, you want to tune your truck, you go out here, you try these lines, you see what it needs, and you make adjustments. You know, it's a great spot for that because it never changes. I mean, this is always the same. Every time we go back, it's the exact same. So if you go out here and you find this really cool line and you just can't quite get it done, you go home, you put a couple hours of work into your truck trying to make it work, and you go back out next time and you nail it, you know. And that's what's so fun about this hobby. Like, it never gets old, you know. And you can see some of these lines, very cool lines. And that truck, look at that. He did such a good job with that body. I love that truck. And those wheels are like some cheap Amazon wheels. I'll have to link them in the description. He said he got them cheap off of Amazon. I can't remember if he said those were Injora too, maybe. I don't know. But I really liked them. You know, they're just a little different style. And he didn't have any issues with them, so that's a plus for sure. This climb right here, it doesn't really look like it would be that bad, but it's steeper than it looks. And I mean, a lot of trucks really struggle with this. This one, this thing's just unreal. And then the top right there is sometimes a little tough because you got such a jagged drop. But of course, the G-Shot has all of that belly clearance. I just kind of got over it super crooked right there, but normally I can just kind of walk over that. It was just nice getting out again. I really forget how much I enjoy this place sometimes when we really get into crawling and we've got a lot of people that's in it in the area, you know, we would go out here like once a weekend or something. And once you run it over and over and over, sometimes you start to get a little burnout on it. And it'd been a good while since we've been out here. You know, through the summer, like, nobody really crawls in the blazing heat. And honestly, in our area, the 10th scales were really booming there for a while. And now it's really died out. There's like 3 of us that really go very much at all now. And so it kind of stinks, you know. I'm hoping it picks back up now that the weather's cooling off. But it was really fun just getting out, you know, the 3 of us. My father-in-law went with us as well, and we just kind of got out and just had fun. You know, this is my favorite type of crawling. Just go out, do what you want, and enjoy it. You know, I don't really do like comps and that sort of thing. It's friendly competition, you know. We try to kind of follow each other, see if we can find a line maybe the next guy can't do or whatever. And you know, we've talked about several times maybe setting up some sort of little small competition out here because it's such a good place. We know a lot of the capable lines. You know, there's obviously we find new stuff pretty much every time we go out here, but we know a lot of really cool lines, so we could mark off some really good lines to have a little fun competition just to make it a little bit of competitive. But some of these, just a lot of fun like that, just hopping from rock to rock. It's just out having fun. And luckily, we didn't really break anything. We had a pretty good day out. And anytime you can go out, crawl all day, and not really break anything, you're doing well. I wasn't planning on talking through this entire video. I was going to just let you sit and enjoy the crawling. But and then I realized we were both running outrunner motors. And you guys probably don't want to sit and listen to the line the entire video. I mean, obviously you'd rather listen to my annoying voice instead, right? But you can see both of these trucks very capable. And we're coming up on a spot where we kind of found a new line to run on a rock that we've ran many times. We just we kind of decided to go down and cross over a little different way than what we normally do. And it was a lot of fun. It was very challenging.
there's a huge hole between like 3 rocks that really just swallows the truck, and you'll see in a minute. But we had fun trying to get that line, and I mean, man, these are just the best days, you know. Just go out, have fun. Honestly, I wasn't even really like, I wish I'd have got better shots, you know, of like Dakota's new truck and everything. But I kind of just like mount my phone on my controller and just start crawling, and I almost just forget it was on. I had like an hour and 20 minutes or something worth of footage, and I cut it all, you know, all the dead stuff out, and this is kind of what I ended up with. But, you know, you kind of just get out there, and I really just kind of forget I'm even recording. We're out there just having fun. But this is the line I'm talking about. We've never really came down this rock. We've like crossed over from the bottom and then came up this rock and did some different stuff. But coming from the top here, going down it, and then trying to make the transfer from this rock to the rocks below it is very tough. It doesn't, you know, obviously it don't look too bad, but there's a huge hole you'll see in a minute that like swallows us. And I did finally get across it. I really had to be pretty hard on my truck, and my 10 scales, like, I rip with them. Like, I am very hard on my 10 scales, and honestly, I rarely ever break anything. That's why the 10 scale is just so much fun. You know, the 24s, if I drove half as hard with the 24s as I do the 10 scales, I'd be broke all the time, you know, especially when I was running the SCX 24 axles. That was partly my problem. You know, I don't like to dial it down. I go hard with them, and I was constantly breaking the 24s. But, you know, now that we've got like the FCX axles and some different beefier axles, I got those new Mofo axles on the way. Those look meaty. They look like FCX axles, but built for the SCX 24 and worm gear setup, basically. So I'm excited to try those out. But this is really steep, and then you've got this. There's a big hole between these 2 rocks right here where my front tires are getting ready to go. Yeah, that's a big hole, and this is a very tough line, but I finally got it done and was thrilled with it. So overall, just a great day out crawling. You guys let me know what you think, if you like this kind of video. I know a lot of people, I did the 24 crawling, and people were saying, yeah, they would watch more of this stuff. So I've been out with the SCX 6s some, so maybe I'll post up a video of that, and always running something. So I appreciate you guys watching, and we got a lot of stuff coming up, so stay tuned. Peace.
That's what I wanted to do too.
That suspension was just so low, really good.
Ah, that's what I was trying to do. Make it or break it.
Yeah.
Yo! 10 minutes later.